right, so I saw this on Yahoo homepage and saw the story and right away called and said, I got to have him on the show. You're an amazing man. And so take us through that day when you found out about the whale.
Well, I was on my way to dinner with my wife, Giselle, and it was about 5:30 in the evening, and I got a call from, I run a whale watching business in Dana Point, Captain Dave's Dolphin and Whale Safari, and and we have more dolphins and whales, more dolphins off Southern California than anywhere in the world, more blue whales than anywhere on Earth, and so we're like, you know, on our way to dinner, and we got this call that there's a whale in the net back in the harbor, and my wife says, "What can you do now?" You know, but I said, turn the car around. We're going. You know, I said, I got to see what I can do, and so we thanks. And so we got out to the whale, and by about 6:30, we had the whale. You know, we were with it, and by the time it got dark, we actually had gotten a buoy attached to this whale, to the netting. And the reason why we do that, a lot of people wonder, you're going to make things worse, but actually, we attach the buoy so that we can find the whale the next day.
So the next day, you go out with all kinds of supplies and slowly, because you can't do it right away. So this is sort of an example. It was, what is this called, the fluke?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is the flukes right here. And we went out the next day, and the whale had this big knot of netting wrapped around it, and then it trailed way behind it, just like this. It was probably like 50 or 100 feet back. And we have these long poles that have a V-shaped knife on them. And what we did, I was up in the front of the boat for a good part of the day, and we hooked into the netting with this long pole and this knife. And every time the whale would come up close to the surface is when we would try to hook in with it. You can't just reach down there because the whale's down deep, so we have to wait. And we actually had a rope attached to him.
Yeah, so there's footage of that. So every single time it would yank a little bit more off of it, right?
Yes.
It took about 8 hours, is that right, for you to cut it?
It was an all-day affair, and we were really concerned that we were running out of daylight. And this whale, one of the control lines snapped really loudly. The whale took off really fast, dove down, and all of these big, huge buoys went down with it underwater, and everybody was holding their breath. We couldn't believe this thing pulled these huge buoys down. It was like a scene from Jaws. And the whale stayed down for a long time. All of a sudden, the buoys popped up, and the whale popped up a little further away, and it was free. It was free, and we were so happy.
So, yeah. And the whale, after it was free, came up and literally came up to the boat and thanked you, right? It just literally came up to every boat and didn't just swim away, came back to you.
It was so amazing. I mean, everybody was just so tired and exhausted from this whole thing. And then suddenly everything turned out. We were all afraid it was going to be the end. And then this whale just floated right next to the boat, came right up, stuck its head out of the water, came over to both boats, came right up to me, literally close enough for me to touch him. I was shocked and opened his mouth, looked like he was almost saying thank you, moving his mouth. I even reached down to touch him, but by that time I was in shock at first. He had already settled down, but I probably could have touched him if I would have just reached out at the time.
Unbelievable. Well, whales, dolphins, everything you can imagine get caught in these nets, and we're going to talk about what these nets are, because I don't think really people understand what is happening. And we'll talk about that and what we can all do about it, because we need to be educated about this. This is a horrible thing that's going on. We'll be right back.